Although everyone is welcome here, this channel is especially for those of us in our 40s, 50s, and beyond, people who are already halfway through the race and starting to take stock of life. Today's topic might not hit everyone the same way, but for some of you, it's exactly where you are right now. This one is for those wandering in the desert. There will come a season, maybe once, maybe several times, when you find yourself alone, separated from the familiar, stripped of the usual noise and comforts. Sometimes it happens by choice, taking a break, working remotely, or retirement. Sometimes it hits without warning. A crisis, a loss, an unwanted change that leaves you staring at a life you barely recognize. But one thing is certain, you will not be the same when you come out on the other side. These seasons are uncomfortable, yes, but they are also the seasons that shape you the most. They become times of learning, self-discovery, testing, and strengthening. And more than anything else, they become the moments where God finally has your full attention. No distractions, no empty connections, just quiet enough for you to actually hear his voice. In the Gospels, one of the defining moments before Jesus began his ministry was his time in the wilderness. Alone, fasting, and tempted. Matthew 4 verses 1 to 11 tells the story. Instead of focusing on the theological details, there are pastors and priests far more qualified for that. I want to look at this moment from a psychological and narrative lens, specifically Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and explore how the same stages show up in our own desert seasons. Here are the 5 phases that shape our wilderness experience. 1. Separation. Every desert season begins with being set apart. Like Jesus being led away, you are pulled into a quiet place where the noise of life fades. You may not be completely cut off from people, but the overall direction is inward, toward God. This workshop of solitude is where God deals with you directly. No one else can walk into this sacred space. Your soul is his project, and separation is the first step toward reshaping it. 2. Scarcity. Once separated, God often removes the comforts and distractions that kept your attention elsewhere. You may find yourself with fewer resources, except time. It's intentional. In the desert, nothing competes for your focus except God himself. Just as Jesus fasted, this stage strips life down to essentials. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to train you. Scarcity becomes the fire that softens the metal of the soul so God can shape it. 3. Introspection. When God finally has your full attention, he turns your gaze inward. This is often the hardest part. Old wounds resurface. Unwanted emotions rise up. Memories you buried long ago return. This isn't punishment, it's cultivation. Just as a farmer turns over the soil to bring hidden nutrients to the surface, God turns over your inner life so he can enrich it. You'll discover what to keep, what to let go, and what space must be cleared for him to work. 4. Inner transformation and reorientation. After the confrontation comes the change. Tears may come naturally, they're part of the healing. You begin to notice the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. This new self doesn't feel fully formed yet, but it's real. New desires, new values, and new clarity start taking root. God is planting things in you that will shape your future steps. Transformation is rarely smooth, but it is unmistakably forward. 5. Integration. This is the return journey, the descent from the mountain or the walk back from the desert. You're not the same person who entered. The old burdens were surrendered. New gifts were received. Like Jesus, who now formally starts his ministry, he leaves the wilderness stronger and embraced by the Father's affirmation. Your trial becomes your credential. What once broke you now becomes part of your strength. Integration means bringing your renewed heart back into everyday life. Relationships, work, routines, with fresh eyes and a grounded sense of who you are in God. You re-enter the world not as who you used to be, but as who you were meant to become. The desert experience might feel like God is punishing you, kicking you when you're already down. Worse, you might think he abandoned you. But this isn't so. The difficult and austere conditions of the desert are meant to refine your faith. Faith produces the courage to go on despite everything, and courage helps you receive what God intended for you all along. Are some of you in the desert right now? health issues, financial difficulties, relationship problems, spiritual crises, even the quiet ache of loneliness? God is always there, even in the desert. Before the cross on Calvary, God first allowed Jesus to walk through that same barren place. All you need to do is let your faith carry you through this harsh season, and in time you'll understand why you had to walk this path. Be well and see you in the next one.